Wall Studios is proud to present The Turnip Princess, starring Henry Wall, Iris Wall, and special appearance by Patrick. Once upon a time, a prince was lost in the woods when suddenly he found a cave. Deciding to seek shelter, he slept there overnight. When he woke the next morning, an old woman was hovering over him. She was very scary. She also had a pet. The pet was in fact a bear that she treated like a dog. Now the old woman was kind, very kind to the prince, and she wanted him to live with her and become her husband. The prince did not like her at all, but unfortunately, she had cast a spell and he was unable to leave the cave. One day, the prince and the bear were alone together in the cave, and the bear said to him, "If you pull that rusty old nail out of the wall, I will be set free. Your reward will be a beautiful wife." Thinking, the prince yanked the nail so hard the entire cave began to tremble. There was a clap of thunder, and the nail popped out of the wall. The bear rose up on its hind legs and turned into a man. And the prince said,
"I have found a beautiful princess."
The prince ran out the door. Nearby, he discovered a field of turnips, and he was just about to put the nail under one of the vegetables when out of nowhere, a monster appeared. The nail flew out of the prince's hands, and he braced himself on a hedge. Thorns pierced his hands, and his fingers were bleeding so bad he fell asleep. Time passed. When the prince came to, he found himself in an entirely different place. Touching his chin, he discovered that he had a beard. That's how he knew he must have been asleep a long time. He stood up, crossed the meadow, passed through the woods, all the while searching for the place where turnips might be growing. But he searched in vain and found nothing. Some time passed, and one evening he decided to lie down on a grassy knoll near a shrub. The shrub was a blackthorn bush in full bloom, and one branch had a blossom on it. The prince snapped off the branch, found a big white turnip growing in the fields next to him, and he stuck the branch with the flower into the turnip, and then he fell fast asleep. When the prince woke the next morning, the turnip had turned into a giant bowl. The interior walls of the turnip bowl looked just like a nutshell, with the imprint of a nut still on it. He looked carefully at the imprint and saw little feet, tiny hands, fine hair, and then the entire body of a wondrously beautiful maiden. The prince left to search for the cave in the woods, and he had no trouble finding it. It had been abandoned, and the rusty nail was lying on the ground. Picked it up and hammered it back into the wall. Suddenly, the old woman and the bear reappeared. He was quite angry.
Don't do that! What did you do with that beautiful princess? Why are you rejecting me? At least you are honest, but I'm not a fool to an old woman.
The bear nodded in agreement and looked at the nail in the wall.
"Just pull out the nail."
The prince tugged at the nail and managed to get halfway out. He turned and saw the bear was partly human and the disgusting old woman, half ugly, half beautiful. He pulled the nail all the way out. Lo and behold, the man and maiden stood there, completely unarmed. He flew into the arms of the beautiful woman, for the spell had been lifted. The two of them took the old nail and destroyed it. The prince and his bride had no trouble finding their way back to the castle. The king was elated to see his son again, and to meet his beautiful bride. The jubilant wedding guests held a feast for the couple, and the two lived a long, happy life. The end.